Hello, and welcome to another episode of my Endgame course. Today we will discuss another classical endgame, and this endgame teaches us a very important concept. So, in the opening phases and the middle game, almost all of the time, you want to have you want to win a tempo, you want to have more time to bring, for example, more pieces into play. But in pawn endings, often you don't want to move. So, for example, in this position, if white would be to move, then black would basically win immediately. So, for example, white plays king e1, black would play king to e3, grabbing the opposition, king f1 back. So black king is here, white king would go back here, and now black would just push f2, and white would have to move out of the way, and black could promote the pawn. But if black now moves forward, then white would get the opposition. Black could give a check, but it doesn't matter because this is a stalemate and therefore draw. So black has to get a bit creative here. And the winning idea is basically to reach this position, but you want white to have the move. So you want to get this exact constellation, but you're not to move anymore. So you can think about it. If it helps you, just set it up on a chessboard next to you. And I will now count to 5 to give you some time to stop the video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And now for the solution. So the problem that white has is he cannot go to f2 because if white goes to f2, black will always respond with king f4. So we start with king f5. If king f2 happens, then we go to f4 and we enter the position and easily win. So white basically has to stay on the back rank and just move back and forth. But what we do now, we don't go back here because white would just go back and we would have the same position as at the start. But what we do is we go to e5. And now white has to move back. There's another option. You cannot leave the passed pawn. You cannot leave it unprotected, unblockaded. You can't go to f2 because again, king f4 is happening. So you have to move back. And now black moves to e4. And now we have the same position we had at the start. It's white to move. And white doesn't have any good moves. White doesn't have any moves that don't lose immediately. Here, again, you just enter the position, and after king e1, you grab the position, and he gets kicked out, and you promote to a queen. Um, be careful if he moves here. Here you have to maybe think for a second. Should you promote to a queen here? You can pause the video, think about it for a moment. No, this would be a grave mistake because now it would be stalemate. So you have to be always alert. Opponent can always do a final trick, and as a white player, you of course should try this, especially if your opponent is low on time. But of course, you don't have to promote to a queen. You can also just wait for a moment and now the promotion just comes with check, or you can just get a rook. It doesn't really matter. So also the third option would be king to g1. but you again grab the diagonal opposition, and if the king moves back anyway, you promote. Okay, this is a very important concept that you want to lose the move. So there's another way to do this in some positions. So I will just show you a quick example. Sorry. So I just add a pawn here, and it's black to move. And now you could actually very simply lose the tempo by playing just h5. And now it would be white to move, and basically the same story. So if you have just a reserve move with a pawn, then you don't have to do this maneuver which we discussed, which is called the triangle maneuver. So the king moves in a triangle. This is why the video is called triangle maneuver. Yeah, so this is the lesson for today. Sometimes you just want to lose the tempo, and the different ways to do this. And a very elegant one is the triangle maneuver. Thank you for your attention, and see you next time.